Now then, how we doing? It's another warm one today, and yeah, it's not been bad, to be fair. I wasn't overly looking forward to today because I was going to go to UKGE, as I talked about. I'm not at UKGE. I'm kind of glad about that because it's too warm and I don't particularly want to be in the NEC. Instead, I've ended up with kind of a free day, so I went out for lunch with my mum and dad. Well, that was really nice. Got them out of the house for a bit. Spent some time together. Not something we do often without my missus and little one as well. So it was nice just to have them myself for a bit. Went to Hobbycraft. My dad's first recent experience of actual real world pricing of things. I think he was a little bit taken aback at the actual cost of just general stuff these days. That was humorous. How much for a little bottle of paint? It's like it's actually reasonably priced for what it normally is, Dad. So that was funny. And then this afternoon I've just sped down to Murfield Minis, grabbed a couple of books. The chap there was nice enough to keep me a book to the side rather than putting it out for sale that he knew I would want and I was after. And that's why I like going there, because it's a mutually beneficial arrangement. He keeps stuff that he knows I absolutely will want, and then I purchase it. So that was good. Yeah, I was really really happy with that. So I now have a 4th edition. Are we on 4th edition? We are on 4th edition, aren't we? Of AOS Kharadron Overlord book with a code. Not that I'm ever going to play as them, so the code really doesn't matter. But I have that now in my collection, along with some older codexes with some really nice artwork in it. Yeah, I'm picking up some of the 40k ones, and I did finally manage to get hold of some decent needle nose pliers that I'm not going to let anybody near. They are going to be just used like literally for removing supports from 3D prints, from FDM 3D prints, not from resin ones. And yeah, I've been on the lookout for a while. £4 for a decent set, I'm happy to pay that. I'm not going to grumble there. I also grabbed a Croneseer unbuilt, which is what I actually went to collect. I was under the impression that I was buying a built one that I was going to have to mess about stripping, but instead, no. Wondrous Mark had kept me a wonderfully unbuilt model to the side, brand new on sprue, with instructions, and I'm super happy with that. It's a beautiful, beautiful model. Not one that goes in any of my armies, but I want to make a diorama of it, and I don't know, I might end up giving that to my parents or something, because I think it'd be the kind of thing that they would like once I've painted it up. Not sure how I'm going to paint it. It's one of those things that I want to do it quite realistic, but we'll see. What else is going to happen today then? I'm not sure now. I have two options. I need to definitely go home and confront my neighbour, because I think he's home, and just let him know that he's, when he's painting the fencing, also painted the side of my car. But other than that, I may walk over to the pub, buy myself a pint of cider, and try and relax for a couple of hours, because like this week at work has been, as you might have guessed if you've watched the videos, it's just been hard. I'm not enjoying it at all. Not even a little bit. I'm finding it very difficult, challenging, but somewhat, I suppose, I don't want to say rewarding, it's not, because I still feel like I'm floundering. I'm getting there with things, and definitely experiencing the whole pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. And I think that's good for anxiety. The lead up to those situations is incredibly anxiety inducing. Like, just I'm not into it at all, but having then done the things that I'm anxious about, being in those meetings and stuff is interesting. I actually had a conversation with my new boss, who's terrifies me, but she's firm but fair, and I think she well, she definitely does, because I told her she appreciates that I'm really not comfortable in the role. And one of the groups that I'm a member of, it's a small group of senior leaders inside the institution. She asked me if I felt I had a place in that group, and at the moment I don't feel like I have a voice in that group, because I'm, in terms of experience, the most junior person there, but also in terms of academic qualification, also the most junior person there. That's not to say that I don't have expertise. I obviously have that. And I get why she asked me the question, because if I'd have just said no, I don't feel I should be there, that would have not been well received. But to say no, I don't feel I have that at the moment. I understand why. I'm doing more listening to understand all of the things that's going on. I think that's kind of given her a measure of the type of person that I am. So hopefully that's a positive. She seems really fair, and I think so long as I do my best and qualify everything that I'm doing, which I tend to do anyway, she'll be very supportive. So I think that's a positive. I feel like there's a growth area for me there, so that's good. But there's a whole slew of other issues that are going on as well that I'm having to tackle on the day-to-day, that are very, very difficult problems to be able to fix, because they're not things that I can directly do. Obviously, as you progress, you can't do all of the jobs, and that's very much the case at the moment. There is significant skill gaps in the team, through nobody's fault, but with people having personal issues so they can't be at work, and then leave, and then there be no formal standard operating procedures or function definitions in place. How things have progressed organically is become untenable longer term, so I'm trying to grapple with that as a problem to fix, while also kind of making sure that we're delivering on what we need to do. And obviously, like, one of the elements of this role is having relationships with various key stakeholders around the institution, and those relationships aren't always happy clappy, we're going to see eye to eye. Sometimes they're not that, and that is difficult, and I'm fine with it. But I need to fully understand why the relationships are like that, and understand both sides of it, and that's why I'm struggling at the moment. That, and the financial side of things, I'm having to put significant amount of effort into understanding how that works in terms of slicing and things, especially when there's international elements to that, because there's a whole complex layer of understanding that I don't necessarily have the context for at the moment, to be able to just look at things and be able to go, like, understand where money comes and goes from at certain points, and how systems relate to that, and how that translates from one currency to the next as it goes through multiple layers of abstraction. So yeah, that's a lot to unpack, and I've talked for like almost 10 minutes, so I'm just going to be quiet now for a bit, I think. And yeah, I'm going to go back home, figure out what the situation is with the neighbour, and hopefully get everything resolved in a non-confrontational manner, because it's too warm to be like getting angsty with people. Anyway, right, I'm gonna go. Have a good one. I'll see you all tomorrow. Stay hydrated, mofos. In a bit. Bye.